What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Scream 7 yet again, and we got a little update now. Not officially confirmed, but if you follow the trail, I mean, it's a pretty good source just to begin with, and this individual talks to Neve Campbell. I feel like it's true, so we're going to kind of follow it along, right? So this was spotted yesterday, and it's basically, and we'll see Scream News here, according to Sean Chris, Neve Campbell won't film Scream 7 till the fall of 2024. You can see it's just a small little 4-second clip, even with Jamie Kennedy, where he says literally that he talked to her, he asked her, and Neve Campbell said back to him that it's probably not filming until the fall. Now, she would probably know, right, what's going on, and now I look at it as, well, could you get it before the fall or after the fall, or in the fall itself, right? I feel like it'd be the fall or after. I feel like with filming things, and it could just be me, and I'm a casual observer, right, of films and filmmaking, but what I generally get out of it is when you have a range of, say, the fall, right, if she's being told by Spyglass or Paramount or whatever that they're filming in September or October, the odds of them coming back to her and saying, yep, it's looking like July now, the odds of that happening seem very, very small to me, right? So I would imagine September, October, right around her birthday even, right? That's where I think this would happen. And now you can kind of follow a little trail. So let's do that, right? If you film in September, October, this is probably a good 2.5 month film, schedule. And then you're left in, I would say, a pretty interesting situation, right? Because if you follow along, now Scream 5 is kind of messy because, it was filmed during COVID, and then because of all the delays and it being really one of the first movies to kind of open up, you can't really follow that timeline between filming, then editing, and then release, right? Because it kind of was all over the place and doesn't really follow a pattern or a schedule. But you go to Scream 6, and this is where it gets, I think, to me, a little bit more interesting, right? If Scream 7 ends somewhere around that November, even December, right? Because if you start in October, then you'd be going into maybe even late December. So you go, let's say, to the end of the year. The end of 2024 is the end of filming for Scream 7. You're in a very interesting place because if you follow the timeline, you could realistically, you could get this thing out by June, July, August. Now, is that likely? I think no. Does Scream need to come out at a specific time to make it work? That's another one that I actually don't think is true either, right? I would say no. So it kind of contradicts. Like, could it come out in, say, July? Yeah, but you're so close to the fall, and you're so close to even, say, December, which was a historic, Scream month way back in the day. Again, I don't really think it actually matters, but if you're that close to the fall, you're that close to, say, Halloween, you put this thing out September or October, and you can kind of ride the Halloween season through it. Again, like I'm willing to be disagreed with. Like, I'm willing for somebody to say that doesn't matter. And it might not. Like, I just want to kind of throw that out there just for myself before somebody says anything, right? It might literally not matter. If you release this thing September 1st versus October 1st, and you let Halloween do its thing versus not Halloween do its thing, it might not matter. When Scream comes out in December, does Halloween help it out, right? Like, it's like ingrained in the culture now, right? Where it's like, I really don't think it matters. I mean, you look back, Scream 5 in January and Scream 6 in March. You didn't really have anything to go off. I think Scream 5, the trailer was in October. So you kind of got to like have that little marketing thing. That's a little messy for this, right? Because if it comes out in October, it would start in like August. So, you know what I mean? So like you're not really going to have much. It's going to be hot out. It's going to be summer, and you're going to get the trailer for Scream 7. I don't really think it matters. But that would kind of be the timeline that I would be looking at. Is it possible it could be later? Well, I think it depends on like when they want this thing out, right? If they're so hell-bent on 2025. Well, the thing is, I think they'd have the opportunity for 2025, right? Like, do they want a specific time in 2025? Because you could rush the thing and get it out in May or June or July, right? You could do it in the summer if you want. You can do it in the fall. You can do it in the early winter and have it come out in December. Do they need it in 2025? I think probably is yes. Is it going to come out in 2025? I think absolutely. When it is kind of like just throw the dartboard and see what it lands on. I really think it's kind of open. And it would really be, again, 5 was such a mess in terms of, how it got there, and 6 was more kind of like a classic thing that's not really going to be replicated here. If you film it in December or you film it and it ends in December and then you release the thing in October, that would be very different than it would be longer. You'd be sitting on it longer than you did Scream 6. And then again, the question would be, do you want to sit on it for longer than you did Scream 6, or do you want it out as soon as possible? And that's not up to us, to decide. So I think it's going to be, and that's the release. We kind of skipped over. Like the filming, there was a lot of special things that happened, like with the filming of Scream 6. So if it really does start filming in the fall, fall literally, towards the end of September, again, like, is it September? Is it October? I personally would think it would maybe be more around October, but ultimately it doesn't matter. However, for us, for like the coverage and the talks and the excitement, probably you got to think about the casting. You got to think about the lead up to it. We already got the director, we got the writer, we got the main star. So I would imagine like the summer might be a little fiery, in terms of we're going to start to hear the location and hear who else, the rest of the cast. We need the rest of the cast, right? And then you'll start to get the filming and people, I don't know, are people going to go on set again like they did last time, or is that kind of been soured? We'll see what happens, right? But it should be really from now on, it'll be a pretty interesting year and a half. And if they do it in that way, stretching it, it's going to be a stretched out time period of us talking about Scream 7. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.